Now, here's the thing. When you think about breast cancer, you usually don't associate it with men.
But the American Cancer Society says the lifetime risk of men getting breast cancer is about 1 in 1,000. Antoine Muhammad is one of those men. He was diagnosed with the disease in January and is now working on a documentary about his experience to save other men, and it's called Getting Through It. He is hosting an event. It's called Different Shades of Pink on Sunday. He's going to get the word out, and Antoine is here to tell us all about it. So good morning.
Good morning.
Nice
How
to
are
see
you
you.
this
Good.
Survivor.
Yes, we made it.
That's all right. Well, so you know what? We're going to talk about the event in just a second because it does sound like an interesting way to bring a highlight to something a lot of people don't know about.
Absolutely.
But let's get to your story first. How did you first discover you had breast cancer? Because we as women are kind of trained by our doctors to look for it. What happened with you?
I was doing the wellness tour at the time for Walgreens, and before I left, I spoke to my wife and I said, you know what, I'm going to get my health in order. At the time, I was about 260 pounds.
Oh, wow.
And I said, you know what, when I come home, babe, I'm going to have some of this weight off of me.
Look at you.
And things of that. So the tour was 7 weeks, but during the course of that, I was exercising, and I noticed fluid discharging from the left side of my chest.
Oh.
And, you know, some mornings I would drink a cup of coffee, so I would see the little stain. I would say, well, maybe I spilled some coffee, and I just don't know. But then it kept happening, so then I went to the doctor, and they said that I was developing multiple cysts. They didn't know why they were developing. They said just to keep an eye on it and see what happens. At the time, they said that it wasn't anything malignant, and I did just that. A year and a half or so later, we were leaving the recording studio, and I dismissed myself from the table because I became very moist under my t-shirt. This fluid was coming out, profusely.
That's extreme.
Is that a typical symptom of breast cancer in men?
Discharge.
It is.
Wow.
Discharge, sensitivities, sometimes wearing t-shirts, the silk screen t-shirts.
Yep.
The inside of the t-shirt would like irritate my chest. It would like be really,
wow.
Sometimes it would get uncomfortable. So I didn't really know what it was.
Yeah.
But when I went to the emergency room, one test led to another, and they came back and said you're stage 3
wow.
breast cancer.
And that's just a year after you had first seen the symptoms.
Because you're young, they talk too about breast cancer being so aggressive when it does happen to you, on the younger side as well.
I was lucky because at the time of the diagnosis, they guesstimated that the tumor would be about 6 to 7 centimeters, but at the time they removed it, it was only 2.
Oh.
What made my diagnosis to be stage 3, there was an area of concern because I had to have 15 lymph nodes removed. And out of the 15 lymph nodes, 10 had proven to be cancerous.
Mm-hmm. And this is just another reason for all of us, not just women in October, to pay attention to it, but men as well.
Absolutely.
Now, I actually know your wife, Tifa. You know her from Power 92, Latifah Young. And here's a picture of you guys with your daughter and your son.
So cute.
How did your family, especially because this is such a different diagnosis, how did things go when you first got it?
When I first got it, I just felt like, I looked at the staff and I just knew they had the wrong file. I'm like, you guys must mean Mrs. Young, from some other family, but not me. But then when I came to the realization that it was me, we went into a serious state of devastation. I mean, I played my violin through the house. Woe is me.
Make it a small one like this.
But after that, we talked, and I just realized because we lost 3 aunts to breast cancer over the past 7 years or so. And within 2 weeks of my diagnosis, my grandmother was also diagnosed with it.
Oh, wow.
So I realized that, I had a bunch of unanswered questions with them, and I told myself that I want to be strong for my family. I want to be strong for them. And if God truly doesn't put anything on you that you can't handle, that I must be flattered that He feels as though I can handle this. So I have to start handling. And I took to my Facebook page, and I just came out with it. I posted a picture of me in the scar, and I just let people know, hey, this is me. Mm-hmm. If you have any questions, I would post pictures from my chemotherapy sessions and actually chat with people live. 4 hours of chemo can be boring. So I would actually chat with people during my chemo sessions and answer their questions. How does it feel? What type of medication? Well, this is paclitaxel. I just feel like a lot of times we lose relatives and friends to a disease like this, and when they leave us, we have so many unanswered questions.
That is
so I
so
want to make
true.
myself an open book to those who have lost, those who have grieved, and those who have suffered with their family and loved ones, and be that open book where they can ask me those questions, and maybe I could help them get closure, help them to heal, or just help others to heal through being able to watch my process.
Wow, that
Very
is amazing,
admirable.
right?
Yeah,
It is
yeah.
admirable, and it is different.
Yes.
But at least you're out there saying
Yes.
things. And listen, Different Shade of Pink is an event happening on Sunday. It's hosted in conjunction with the American Cancer Society and the Barbara Bates Foundation, 5 to 9 at the Shrine in the South Loop. If you want information and you want to follow Antoine and hear more of his story, go to his Facebook page. It's right there on your screen. This was a really
Yeah.
eye-opening conversation. Thank you so much for sharing.
I really would like to thank Westinghouse College Prep, because they provided the facility for me to be able to film the documentary that we did. They were extremely helpful. We actually allowed some of the students to work on it with us as a learning experience so that they could get the learning hours under
That's
their
all
belt.
right. That's
Fantastic.
all right. Good job, Twan. Good job.